When you think of Pokemon, the first thing you should think of is the awesome Pokemon battles. Each turn being full with multiple opportunities for you to outwit your opponent. And these battles have evolved from singles to doubles to triples to even sky battles. But we don't talk about those, they suck. But now we can battle like Ash in the Pokemon anime, thanks to a fan game known as Pokemon Reloaded, introducing real-time battle, where you'll have to dodge, block, and time your attacks. So let's dive in to see if this is the true future of Pokemon battling. If you think so, hit that like button right now because we're making our character. Now it's time to choose a rival, and we have to choose the best rival out there, Gary. Then answer some random questions that have no impact on the game at all. Now it's time for our signature phrase, something that people will remember us for, like Ash turning his hat, and I thought of the perfect one. Yep. This one's the one here. It's just a little something that we can say when we utterly and embarrassingly defeat our opponents. Samuel gives us the same old Pokemon Professor rundown, so let's switch into something a little more interesting. A scene where all the bad Pokemon team leaders are meeting up. I also like how they have Mars instead of Cyrus for Team Galactic, since Cyrus is in a completely different dimension right now. Another thing I like is Giovanni's Persian just napping on the table. It's adorable. They discussed the Rainbow Rocket initiative from Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, but everyone's a little hesitant. You know, they did get beat by a 10-year-old. Then a new villain, Custom, speaks up, revealing that they should work with them because he knows all their secrets and stuff, because he's been spying on them. So they all silently agree. We jump back to our character playing some Pokemon on the PlayStation 5, but enough of that, we need to grab our starter. We have a choice of Pikachu, Eevee, or Riolu. Since Pikachu and Eevee have their own little official Pokemon games, it's time that Riolu gets some love. Plus, he can read our opponent's aura and predict their moves. The game also gives us a lot more insights for Pokemon as well, like their future moves and their level ups, which is something you don't see much in a fan game. We go show our mom our Riolu, and then out of nowhere, a Shadow Lugia just casually passes by. And this guy's over here standing there like it's nothing. Our mom celebrates the start of our adventure with the cell phone that has no apps nor internet connection, so it's useless. We dive into Route 1 for our first real Pokemon battle against a P-Dub. As you can see, we're locked into a battlefield arena where we can freely run around with the power to launch off different attacks, but we have to time it and actually land it. But we have to make sure our Pokemon Power Ball fills up before we launch another attack, preventing us from essentially spamming moves. As you can see, we're missing every attack, and this will have to take some getting used to. And it beat us. A P-Dub just beat us. I'm just letting that sink in. After that embarrassing loss to that stupid, dumb, flying street rat, we jump back in the grass to beat up some actual rats. We come up with one of our many battle strategies. This one we call the hit and run, where we strike, then no matter what, we run away. Another one is the spin to win strategy, where we do a little spin, confusing an opponent, and then we strike them. With these new battle tactics, we're unstoppable. Now we'll have to test them in a true trainer battle. Side note, this versus screen looks super cool, but he's not ready for these strategies.
A few moments later.
Why does this rat have Flame Wheel? This Pidgey knows Toxic. Pidgey can't even learn that. That throws our hit and run strat out the window, and we fade from poison. Now a good trainer would recollect themselves and catch some more Pokemon, but this fight's personal, and a great trainer knows how to deal with personal fights. So Riolu and I hit the grass like Red training on Mount Silver, perfecting our attack patterns, growing stronger, learning new moves, and significantly reducing the amount of Hoot-Hoots and Rattatas in the grass, but it's a small price to pay for power. We test our new strength on this poor lass here, destroying all of her Pokemon, especially this Zigzagoon that suddenly grew little tentacles and was kind of holding us or something. It was weird. With our training complete, throw out your Pokemon. Amelius. His flame-wielding rat was no match for our new rushdown strat, where we simply chased down the Pokemon and beat it up. Neither his hack Pidgey nor Hoot-Hoot was ready to be chased down by Riolu's Aura Fury. With his defeat, we continue our journey. Plus, we spent all night stuck here. It's time to move on. We find a tough little Talos serving as our first Pokemon to add on the team, followed by this little raccoon. As we head down the route, our rival Gary comes to challenge us. Little did he know we were vastly stronger than him. His Rattata wasn't ready for our rushdown strat, and then it stood there for a moment to rest, which was a bad move. Spearow flies hitting us with Toxic, and what is with all these birds knowing Toxic? Luckily, we caught it off guard with a super fast bullet punch. His Abra with Confusion comes out, so like the smart trainer we are, we switch into Talo. However, its long-range confusion attacks and speed were just a bit too much, so Riolu comes back in. Luckily, an experienced trainer like us came prepared. An orange berry for survivability and force palm to slow this yellow mouse thing down. Then we give it a little chomp. His last Pokemon, Bulbasaur, was pretty tough. Neither bird nor raccoon could stop it. Plus, Gary also came prepared with the orange berry, putting us on the clock, with Riolu having to beat it before we faint from poison. This forced us to use our final card, items to heal and cure us, something an elite trainer like us would never forget we had. With this turn of events, Riolu easily beats Bulbasaur. We enter our first town with the way forward being blocked by a fallen old man, which could mean one of two things, both of which we don't care about, so we visit the local Pokemon school. The teacher challenges us to battle each of her students. So school's in session and it's time to teach a lesson on defeat. And I have to say, these kids barely put up a fight. Everything was under level and they were using things like a Wurmple. Wurmple's not gonna cut it, kid. She rewards us with the TM Bide, and as we leave, little Jimmy over here wants to follow us around. He thinks following us around will make him a great Pokemon trainer. No, it won't. Go home. Honestly, this kid's a little weird. He says nothing and he does nothing in battle. He doesn't even react to this flying Mewtwo. Side note, why are there so many legendaries just casually flying around in this region? Before we head into the local forest that every Pokemon region has, his teacher catches up to take him back. Yeah, get this kid away from me. Also, you should be fired. He left during the day. It's nighttime. What if I was Team Rocket? We enter the forest and get into our first double battle where we control one Pokemon while the other one's on autopilot. Doesn't really do anything, it's just a wandering body. But hey, still cool nonetheless. With the forest behind us, it's time for our first gym battle. This gym happens to be a rock gym, which really works out in our favor. We step up to the rock gym leader, Mino. We start by stacking up workup boost against his Geodude, then chase it down with a force palm to defeat it. Next, his Cranidos meets the same fate with a bullet punch. His Kabuto crawls in, but luckily we caught a Shinx earlier that evolved into Luxio. Luxio sparks up the battlefield and Kabuto itself, with Spark having a super cool animation on it. Onix comes out, so Riolu returns, paralyzing this rock snake with the aura from its force palm. However, like a foolish trainer, we did not bring any potions for healing, so Riolu eventually went down. The Apple we caught almost got the job done, but Mino came prepared with a super potion, so it and the rest of the team fell to a nose pass of all things. I mean, just look at it. How can you lose to that? We stock up and go immediately to a rematch. We get lucky with an early paralysis on Geodude, then start bullying him. Suddenly, Mino pulls out a full restore, which is kind of ridiculous because this is the first gym. Then he does the same crap again with Cranidos. Then again with Kabuto. How many full restores do you have? You're the first gym leader. You shouldn't really be using that. Oh, and one more cool thing about this game, you can only use 6 items per battle. So yeah, with these new discoveries and another loss on our heads, it's time to go back to our roots, hitting the grass like Red training on Mount Silver again. We also grabbed the crap Brawler, but I didn't feel like training it from level 7. But at least Abra evolved. With this new evolution, it's time for Mino to go down. Riolu puts Geodude in the corner and beats it down with consecutive bullet punches. Now Kratos comes in where we paralyze it with Force Palm and then beat it before that stupid full restore comes out. Riolu suddenly learns Sword Dance, so we stay in on Kabuto, raising our attack to give it one big Force Palm, followed by a barrage of bullet punches before it crawls away to heal. Onix emerges, so Crab Brawler walks in as a distraction so that Riolu can heal. Before Onix realizes it, it's already paralyzed and defeated. His knowing nose pass hits us with the Uno reverse, paralyzing us with Thunder Wave, so we use Luxio to counter its annoying strat. Luxio constantly charges up, then hits hard with a well-timed Spark. His final Pokemon is Lycanroc. Luxio stood its ground, knocking it around a bit, but the final blow goes to Riolu, who's gathered all its aura, patiently waiting for an opening, then struck with a massive bullet punch, winning us our first gym badge. Now go watch this video, you'll love it.